This is M.C. Escher's Hand with Globe. This piece is about introspection. Introspection is the act of reflecting on yourself and your stuff. Our possessions and the things we choose to surround ourselves with are not just reflections of ourselves, they are part of ourselves. Our bodies and our minds and our possessions all go into the formation of the self-schema. My home is a part of myself, but I didn't realize that until I considered selling my home and moving someplace else. My name is Charles Schwenk. This is my neighborhood. This is my house. This is my life. Ha! I stole that line from a movie called American Beauty. I'm 70 years old, and I've lived 19 of those years in this house. Now, I'm thinking of moving to an apartment downtown, but I still have an attachment to this house, and this video, I think, might help to explain why. This is bent wire. I bend wire. Another term for this is wire sculptures. And I only say that because if you want to Google the term, you'll see some wire sculptures that are worthy of the name. This is just my little diddly. Okay, now this is my favorite piece of surrealist art. Castle in the Pyrenees by Magritte. I love this so much, I made this. Now this is suburban neighborhood in the Pyrenees. Now this is a bad flower, an evil flower, and that's what the French says there, fleur du mal. This is what I call a diorama. Now this is a picture of the Bodhisattva Kuan Yin. I didn't do this. Down here we got some more wire sculpture. This is an image of birds by M.C. Escher. You'll see a lot of M.C. Escher pieces around here. Another wire sculpture. Here's another one. This is actually kind of a scene from Dante's Inferno. Well, I'll explain. I'll show you some pictures in a minute, okay? Now let's move back a little. Now you see what you got here. I don't know if you can see this. It's a disco ball. And then these are the planets in our solar system arranged around it to look like an orbit. Alrighty, down over here, more wire sculptures. This is the bird wall, right? I see. That's a cormorant. And there's another M.C. Escher, St. Francis preaching to the birds. Now here's a bookcase. On top is the Bible. And here are some books that I've kept. My wife and I used to have somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 books. I mean, we were academics, so. And I've been paring it down for years. I finally got down to not much more than 300 books. And these are all books that I've found useful and that I plan to consult in the future. Okay, now this is supposed to actually be something. This is an asteroid. And it's been carved, the top of it, to accommodate a set of buildings that house actually hundreds of people. This is, well, here, look. Now, these are shuttles. Many, many people can fit on each one of these shuttles. So this thing is a dwelling on an asteroid for hundreds of people. What for? Now this is my other bookcase. All these books are Buddhist books. I'm a Buddhist. All these books are Buddhist books. Huh. Now these books are of a broader nature. Now these books are, well, partly fiction and partly other things, okay? This is Frida Kahlo. I love surrealism. Frida Kahlo, her art is magical realism. The connection is amazing. This particular picture is astonishing. I love this picture. Now, let me show you just a few more books, okay? Now, these are all the other books I have. I used to love cave exploration, and I still love cave art. So I tried to turn this hallway into a sort of like a cave passage. You see that little stalactite up there? And I also filled it up with cave art. I'm just fascinated by these images. I liked looking at them and trying to think, what were the people who made them? What did they think they were doing? What did they think they were communicating? I mean, we can't really know because it was 20 to 30,000 years ago. They were hunter-gatherers in an ice age. But it's just fascinating to speculate about it. Here's my favorite image of my wife, Susan. She accompanied me on cave explorations occasionally. And down this way. Now, the people who made these made them with using flickering light, flame, like I'm using. So when they looked at them, they looked like they were moving. In fact, I think this may have been part of some ritual movement of these objects. In some ways, maybe these were sort of the first moving pictures. Now we're in what I call the sunroom. I got snow outside. Isn't that pretty? It's April the 11th. We've never had snow that sticks in Portland this late in the year. What with climate change, the winters are going to get generally milder, but also more variable. There's the Schwenk forecast. This is a caricature of a famous politician. See if you can guess whom. This is sort of a scene inspired by Lord of the Rings. This is an int. Here's some M.C. Escher pieces. As I said before, you see a lot of M.C. Escher around here. And here you have more wire sculptures and another little diorama. I don't know if you can see that this is a scene from a room in a house, a study probably, except you have, instead of people in suits, you got dinosaurs in suits. This is a sort of like a terrarium. And this is another wire sculpture, little tree that I made. This is intended to be a hedge maze. Okay, now a little bookcase that's got a few other little things in here. Go in here. This is a tree that's sort of loosely inspired by Dante's Inferno. There's a place called the Wood of Suicides. Anyway, this is loosely inspired. This is Poseidon's warning to Odysseus, because as we know, the action in the Odyssey is driven by the fact that Odysseus pisses off Poseidon. Another little one of these little jewel trees that I enjoy. If you've ever been to the southern Oregon coast, you know there are a lot of these lava plugs that stick up out of the water. Probably the most famous is called Wizard's Hat. And this is, it's not a replica, but it's inspired by Wizard's Hat. I call this Climbing Wizard's Hat. Here's some M.C. Escher stuff. These are actually collages. Well, the top one is something he did called Metamorphose. But these below are my own collages based on his work. You probably can't see. Anyway, there you are. Now this I call the memory room. Instead of paint or wallpaper, this has images, photographs from my past. Some artwork as well. Everybody has photographs on their laptops or maybe in a box or something, but they rarely look at them. When I come in here to exercise every day, I look at these pictures, and they remind me how different I was in the past. Look,
Here's me. Young. About 2. Here's me. A little bit older. 13 or so. Here. 17. Here. In my 30s. Here in my 40s. And here, at the present time. When I reflect on these images and the words I wrote long time ago, I realize my life, what a long, strange trip it's been. I stole that from the Grateful Dead. Now we're in the pareidolia room. The pareidolia room has a lot of clouds in it, as you can see, but it deals with this phenomenon that's called pareidolia, which is the tendency to see patterns in random stimuli, including seeing faces in clouds. So all the clouds in this room have faces in them. Here, let me show you another one here. This is one of the most obvious here. Okay, look at that, see? Clouds, and then there's faces down here. Faces, faces, faces. Okay, pareidolia. Okay, more clouds with faces in them. And here's some other stuff to do with faces. Okay. Now, this is a poster of what's called the 6 worlds in Buddhism. And this is a little pendulum chime I made. Now you go over here, you see more clouds, and you see eyes above the door. In Tibet and Nepal, they have this all the time. The Buddhists, they put eyes over the doors. Little figures in it. Here's a cup. You see there's an Indian design on the side of the cup, and then inside. Now here's a very small thing, just little bitty people standing around a little. In there. Another one of these. Now, let's move into the kitchen, just briefly. This is actually one of my personal favorites. I don't know if you can see this. See, it's a salad bowl, a big myrtlewood salad bowl. And instead of a salad, people are here in a park. I don't know if you can see it, but these people, some of them are behaving inappropriately. Anyway. And we go by the sink. You see here. Now here on the door, a little thing here. This is a, well, you know, kind of inspired by Jackson Pollock. You know, this drip painting. They have kids do this because it's so cool. Kids will do drips on a page or something, and then they'll look at them and they'll see patterns in them. Oh, that's another example of pareidolia. You know, you do something you know is random, and you look at it for a while and you see patterns. I'm here. I'm here. You just can't see me because of the odd light from the disco ball. I don't think I'm going to leave this house right now. Over the last 19 years, I've kind of set it up to sort of stimulate eccentric thoughts, flights of fancy, maybe even creative thoughts. I don't think I'm going to come to any great creative insights, but it's just fun. So I believe I'll stay here for the present.